Not the most recognisable faces in world football maybe, but earlier this month these lads began their qualifying campaign for the FIFA World Cup, representing one of the most impoverished and war-torn nations on the planet, Afghanistan.
After 25 years of war and destruction, our country has gained some stability. It's so pleasing that we have now turned to sports to make a name for our country. We are overwhelmingly proud to represent our country at the World Cup qualifiers in Asia.
After a week-long training camp in their capital, Kabul, the Afghanistan team eventually arrived in Damascus for the first leg of their Asian Zone preliminary qualifier against Syria. And what a journey it was. They flew from Kabul to Dubai, where they spent 24 hours in transit, before arriving in Damascus just 22 hours ahead of kick-off. The problems for the squad didn't end there. The following morning, they were unable to train in the stadium and were forced to finalise preparations for the game on the dusty streets of the Syrian capital. Understandably, their German coach was far from satisfied.
It was very difficult to draw the team together. After all, we have very little money at our disposal. Some of the players come from the provincial areas like Herat and Mazar-i-Sharif. We also have 3 players from Germany and the United States. That all costs money, money the Federation doesn't really have. We have a core group, players from Kabul, and we're building a national team around them. But that will take time. They've just met up and are still getting to know one another. As a result, our first game promises to be very difficult.
Klaus Sterk has been Afghanistan's national coach for the past 4 years. He's employed by the German FA, who've been supporting and working with their Afghan counterparts through FIFA's Goal project.
In 2002, after the war, our Chancellor Gerhard Schröder and Franz Beckenbauer visited Afghanistan and also paid a visit to the Football Federation. They promised help, and this help came in the form of 2 coaches. The first was Ali Askololi, who continues to run the project today. He's an Afghan German. The other was Holger Obermann, my predecessor, who was in charge for 6 months. I took over from him in 2003, and since then, with 1 or 2 interruptions, I've been working in Afghanistan.
To improve the quality and depth of the national squad, Afghanistan for the first time in their history are looking to recruit players who live outside the country. Omar Arzo and Youssef Sami live in America but have Afghan roots. Arzo was born in Afghanistan before moving to California at the age of 7, while Sami was born in America to Afghan parents. His father played football for Afghanistan before emigrating, and Sami is incredibly proud to be following in his footsteps.
Right now I'm thinking it's going to be amazing. I mean, wearing the shirt, the Afghani symbol on my chest, just walking out, it'll be an honor. Right now I'm saying that I think I'll probably start crying if I do that. That's the one thing I'm scared about. I've been waiting for this moment all my life, just to walk out on the pitch in the name of Afghanistan, like my father did, have the logo on my shirt. It's something else. I can't even imagine it right now.
I came out to Kabul, Afghanistan, just because I thought this would be a once-in-a-lifetime situation for me. Playing soccer in the States for the last 20 years has been wonderful, but I never had an opportunity to go try out for a national team in the U.S., you know. It's a different situation in the United States. So I told myself, why not? This is a great opportunity to be chosen to play on the national team of Afghanistan.
However, for both players, the training camp in Kabul proved to be an emotional experience. They not only witnessed Afghanistan's extreme poverty, but also had to take training sessions in the same stadium where the Taliban had executed thousands of Afghan people.
It was very tough to go there and practice soccer. Oh my God, the whole time I was thinking about all the things I've saw on the news, the things I've heard, all the footage of how horrible these people were, the Taliban, what they did to innocent people in Afghanistan. And just knowing that I was going to go to that stadium and play football, and I'm trying to score a goal, and, you know, practice taking a shot at the goal where there's people being, hanging at once. It was just, it's unbelievable. I can't tell you how horrific it is.
While we were there, there's 3 suicide bombings. One was actually from the airport that we left from, It was about 5 or 6 hours after we left in Kabul. There was an attack. So you're always living on the edge there. Can't take many pictures. We got pulled over by some security because we were taking pictures on the street. They think that we're spying on some of the military bases and stuff. So over there, you got to watch your step.
Prior to this game, Afghanistan had played only one other World Cup qualifier. That ended in an 11-0 defeat to Turkmenistan in 2003. So the team did not have high expectations as the match kicked off. This was as close as they came to scoring. At half-time, the game was goalless, and Afghanistan were putting up a brave performance. But Syria's greater experience began to tell in the second half, and Mohamed Zaino put them ahead on 73 minutes. Shirk handed Sami his international debut, but just as he came on, Mahir El Saeed doubled Syria's lead from the penalty spot. Six minutes later, Sami found himself in the thick of the action. Unfortunately, though, he gave away a penalty. The referee spotted his tug on his opponent's shirt, much to his teammates' obvious displeasure. Zaino made it 3-0, but the Afghanistan coach was far from downhearted by the performance of his team.
3 is okay, not necessary, but 3 is good. Yeah, very good, we're solid.
Because of security issues, the second leg will be played in neighbouring Tajikistan. Syria will be overwhelming favourites, but the real goal for the Afghans is to bring international football back to their homeland.
We dream of proper facilities being built in Afghanistan. It would be great to host Asian, South Asian and Asian Champions League competitions in our own backyard. That would undoubtedly develop our football further.
We have a little saying, the Afghans are mad about football, or in English, crazy for football. We get big crowds for games in the Kabul League. We have a number of players. There are 2,000 young players registered in Kabul alone. The problem is that we can't travel to the regions because of the security situation. This really restricts our work. But football remains at the heart of sport in Afghanistan, and we're very well supported by our fans.
And they're mighty proud of the lads.
Now for the latest in our favourite